Yes, Mr. Chaskalson.
Chair, I understand we have to finish within the next 50 minutes, and there are some other topics I'd like to get through, so I'm not going to pursue that last line of questioning any further. Mr. Mogotsi, if we just quickly run through a chronology, your signal message to the minister that we've been looking at was sent on 26 January. The meeting with the colonel who was possibly going to trap Generals Khumalo and Mkonazi was on 29th January. In Parliament yesterday, the Chief of Staff mentioned that the Minister had scheduled a meeting with you for 3 February, which was a week after you sent the Morning Minister a letter about the Khumalo and General Mkonazi matters and the funding guy with the contract with SAPS. He says that the 3 February meeting apparently couldn't take place because people were called urgently to Lutuli House. What was the 3 February meeting going to be about?
It's going to be a political meeting.
Political meeting?
That's
and what in particular?
We call different people from different regions.
Different regions of the Northwest or different regions of...
It was, I think it was the Northwest, yes.
And why did they have to meet with the minister?
And if it's political, it means they would have raised their political issues with the member of the NEC, National Executive Committee member of the ANC. They will raise their political issues with him.
So it just so happened to be that the member of the NEC that they wanted to raise issues with was the minister?
That's correct.
And who were these people who were due to come?
It would be members of the ANC.
No, I understand that, but if they're coming to see the minister in the capacity as
members of the ANC,
members of the ANC, you can happily give their names.
The names of the people who are going to attend the meeting?
Who are going to come to that meeting. You see, I ask you this question because the Chief of Staff's version yesterday in Parliament was remarkably unparticularized. He couldn't point to any attendance register. He couldn't point to any people who were there. He couldn't point to any access at the gate. He could say nothing other than that he'd been asked to set up this meeting and that you were bringing people, but they couldn't come.
Yes.
So what I want to know is who were the people you were going to bring?
Commissioners, a meeting of that sort.
Mr. Mogotsi, it's a very simple question. Who were the people? They have names. What were their names?
I don't get the point, Minister. That meeting never took place. It is because, let me explain this properly, Commissioners.
Mr. Mogotsi, if you know the names, it does not require an explanation. Do you know the names or not? If you do, please give us the names.
The names were not yet prepared because we were relying on when they said people were called to Lutuli, it means whoever that we are planning to bring, being a leader, you cannot bring their followers without the leader. It is leaders like your regional leadership, regional chair and secretaries who were called to Lutuli House. Now, we could not convene any other meeting without the regional leadership. So at that stage, we did not have people we could not put up a list and say, here are the people who are going to come.
Sorry, I genuinely don't understand that answer, because if the answer is that the regional leadership and chair would have been there along with other people, then...
No, I'm not saying that.
You're not saying that?
Yes, there was a meeting which we had with regional secretaries. I have names, but that one did not materialize. When you call that meeting, you say, please bring one rep from your region. And if that meeting does not take place, those reps, you won't be able to see them, and therefore you don't have the names.
You see, if I understood the version of the Chief of Staff correctly, it's not consistent with what you're telling me now, because the Chief of Staff said that it was already a few minutes past the scheduled start time for the meeting when he was called to say that people can't come because they've been called urgently to Luthuli House. So if that was the situation, you would have known who was due to be at the meeting, and the fact that they were subsequently called urgently to Luthuli House wouldn't prevent you from telling me who was supposed to be there but for the Luthuli House call.
You know, commissioners, there are so members, many members of the NC that I know, my friend. I would have just said, Tato, Tepo, Mama. It's for being, to be honest, once a meeting is arranged and did not, that meeting, for him to say it was the last minute cancellation, it is because the leaders who were not coming here, the leaders were called to the tool. So the same leaders could not give us their names, could not give us their representative who were coming. I'm saying to you that because there are even few members now who left the ANC, I could have called their name or called to F, but we did not have the list. I was also going to meet them here in Gauteng. So I don't have the names.
So this meeting was about ordinary ANC business in the Northwest?
Not business.
What was it?
Like concerned members. If you say one rep per region, it means Northwest has 4 regions. You will bring 4 people. But those leaders you are talking to, you will never know who are they bringing. So that meeting, therefore...
And what was the purpose of the meeting? What were you going to raise with the MEC, with the minister in his capacity as an NEC member?
I don't know what they're going to raise. It is them who have to come and give their political overview, their feeling in the province, and so forth.
But the Chief of Staff said it was your meeting, that you were bringing people, that the minister had scheduled a meeting with you and some people you were going to bring.
Yeah, you know, commissioners, I was watching the same thing that we're talking about. I could have had answers of those people. I'm saying only the leaders who were called to Luthuli, the leaders who were called to Luthuli did not give me those that had to attend. So I cannot have the names, even if it was my meeting. And those people that were coming to attend for that meeting, it's a normal thing for maybe comrades from KZN or Free State to meet with the minister, is to raise their general concerns from where they come from, not me, where I come from, where they come from, to raise their issues and with a member of the National Executive Committee.
And have you been involved in any meetings of the NEC, or not NEC, meetings with the minister in his capacity as NEC member, other than that meeting that didn't happen?
Yeah, there was a meeting of regional secretaries, and only 2 of them came with their drivers, and the meeting could not necessarily be fruitful, but it took place. I was present in that meeting.
Where was that? Where and when was that
Minister's State House.
And when?
Commissioners, I'm not good with dates, and this is a disadvantage, but it was last year. I can't remember.
2024, not 2025.
Not 2025.
I'm going to move on to another topic which has been touched on in part. It's the apparent advance notice that you got of the disbandment order. I'm not sure if there are any issues that the Commission wants to traverse before we go.
We will ask our questions when we resume, so we'll let it go.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
We know that the PKTT disbandment letter was sent from the Chief of Staff to the National Commissioner's Office at 17:20. That's 5:20 p.m. on New Year's Eve, 31 December 2024. That's when the letter went out. If we go to your chats, and this is a point that Commissioner Khumalo raised with you, at 11:32 on that morning, which is a good almost 6 hours before the letter went out, you were telling Mr. Matlala that today is D-Day on the other side. And that he must stand back for his safety in business. And he said, this won't change my contribution towards the minister, although I made a conscious decision and I'm not backing down. Whatever help the minister needs from my side, I'll be happy to assist. Just don't want to fight losing battles, he says. And you've had an exchange with the commissioner who put to you that disbandment letter. You denied that.
I deny that.
And you have suggested that what you were really speaking to Mr. Matlala about was he had to pay today because it was the deadline for the January the 8th contributions.
That's correct.
How does that explanation square with his response, which is, this won't change my contribution towards the minister, though. I made a conscious decision and I'm not backing down. Whatever help the minister needs from my side, I'll be happy to assist. I just don't want to fight losing battles. Why did he say that if what you were telling him was you have to pay today, otherwise it's too late?
On that part, he was talking about his safety and his business. Remember, I told you there are possibilities that the KKTT could come to your house. Now, and as I'm repeating it, the statement again, Commissioner, I said the D-Day had to do with the celebration. Now that I'm saying we will fight for all the way for him, and he's still saying, he's also trying to please me that, okay, and myself also, my boss, I won't change my decision. I am going to help the minister and whatsoever. But the point is, the reason he said that he was trying, I believe he was trying to please me.
Well, we have traversed this, and you have traversed it with Commissioner Khumalo. I'm not going to take it forward. I do want to put to you that what you were referring to was not deadlines for payment, but was anticipation of the disbandment letter.
So far, it is vividly clear that Matlala, I was talking to him openly. If there was a letter coming, I would have given him that letter. It's the first time that I hear even that the letter came from the Chief of Staff. And because I'm talking to him, probably I would have received the letter the same day and showed it to Kat the same day. So I only got the letter from social media, I believe it was the second day.
Well, let's wait till we get there, because before we get there, on the 1st of January, at 13:41,
Page?
Page 62, at the bottom of the page, there's a text which you've denied, or a chat which you've denied. At 13:51, the text reads, "Good day, it's from you to Kat. Good day, I've arranged a meeting for Sabia and the minister must have a solution." You say you never sent that.
Page 62.
Sorry?
Yes, I did not send this message.
You deny sending that. I have to put to you that your denial is unsustainable, but we will in due course bring the technical evidence to show that this text could not have been planted in that body of WhatsApp messages, but it's a technical question. I don't want to take it further with you now, but I have to put it to you.
Oh, I hear that there will be a technical person. But it is my wish, commissioners, that this cell phone forget when you are having those experts. Perhaps I should be allowed to bring a same machine.
Sorry, the same machine.
We know they are using the cell bright machine. And I've said yesterday, this cell bright machine, South African Police Service it has that machine. No one operates it. They are utilizing these other companies that I cannot mention. That machine, you choose the message that you want to extract. And I wish they bring it here on that day, they extract. Once they are done, they must allow us to also extract, with my person to extract.
If you want to appoint an expert to be present at the mirror imaging of the phone from the original sealed evidence bag in which it's kept, and to make your own image, we will make the necessary arrangements if that is necessary.
Not mirroring, not to mirror, to do what they did, the download, to show you from the phone, the day it was bought till today. Whatever that was taken out, will be able to take out. Whatever that was deleted, we'll put it back. Things that General Mogotsi said there in Parliament, that they can do what. Like I said, commissioners, with us to run this.
Mr. Mogotsi, I don't want to have this debate with you. I'm tendering our cooperation if you want an expert appointed to perform these exercises. When we get to it, your legal team can be in touch with us.
Thank you.
Let's then get to the 1st of January. And at 10:38 on the 1st of January, you send a message to Mr. Matlala, which we see at page 63, 10 p.m. 22:38. The message says the task team that came to your house and harassed you has been dissolved, disbanded. You see it?
Correct.
And your evidence was that you sent this message after finding the disbandment letter on social media.
That's correct, Commissioner.
And I asked you whether it was public social media or private social media. Had someone sent it to you privately? You said no, it was publicly accessible.
That's correct, Commissioner.
You see, I want to put it to you that evidence is false, because we have done a comprehensive search of public social media, and the earliest that any public source announced the disbandment decision was when the journalists who scooped the story posted about the disbandment decision on X at 21 hours 32 p.m. on the 2nd, not on the 1st, on the 2nd. So you had in your possession information of the disbandment 23 hours before it went public.
It's not true. Who did that study, I don't know how he's going to prove that that journalist was the first one to get that was the first to run the story, or when did the journalist get the story. I got the letter from the social media, and it was all over social media. And everyone, including General Mogotsi, General Masemo, no one mans up and say, including the recipient, no one receives to accept to have received the letter. All of them say they got it from the social media.
Indeed, everyone did get it from
my
social media.
My contention, commissioners, is that the recipient of that letter is the one who leaked it, because it was against the wish.
I'm not accusing you of leaking it.
No.
I'm just putting to you that you were aware of the information before it was publicly available on social media.
I was not aware. There was no way I could be aware.
Well, if you can track the source from which you found that that letter, I would be very interested in knowing that source, because we see no evidence whatsoever of any publicly available source speaking to that letter before 21:32 on the 2nd.
I don't know if I'll be able to find it, commissioners. My only wish is that maybe this PKTT now, if it still exists, should maybe be given to Limpopo to run it, or Gauteng, because this PKTT, for it to be based in KZN, it is a problem. Maybe it should be given to General Lasani Northwest or someone, because just to see what will happen if it is administered or managed by different people. Thank you, Commissioner.
Can I just check this? Mr. Mogotsi, you say you say the recipient is responsible for leaking the letter. That's what you said.
Yeah, it's in my view. I'm not speaking.
Oh, you're not stating it as a fact.
No.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Can we go down, still on page 63, to the 2nd of January at 8:58? There you send a message to Mr. Matlala saying they got the letter on Monday. As we speak, they're bringing all the dockets to Sibiya.
That's correct, Commissioner.
Yes, and there was ultimately a decision to bring the dockets to General Sibiya's office. But that was only taken officially in March of 2025.
That's correct, Commissioner.
But you seem to have advance notice that this decision was going to be taken.
Yeah, this has been coming so many times, and I'm trying to think perhaps we should check who actually gave the directive that the dockets must go to General Sibiya. I think that's where now even the commission should establish whether is it Brown Mogotsi who said take those dockets to Sibiya, because now I have mentioned it, and I gave an example to say I was with someone, there was issue of the docket, it was somehow I was made aware that the dockets belongs to the Deputy National Commissioner. And I then thought, indeed, they're going to go to him. Now, the story that, because I knew beforehand, maybe we now have to check, especially with the subs management, the brigade, the major, the general who was here, we must check who said the docket must go to General Sibiya, so that we can see if is it the minister, because it's somehow purported that is the minister or chief of staff, someone I'm
Mr. Mogotsi, I'm not interested in who said it. I'm interested in when it was first said and why you assumed, or you said that was happening on the 2nd of January at 8:58 in the morning.
Yeah.
When it happened, we know it was several months later. What we're interested in is why you said that on 2 January at 8:58.
The docket belongs, all the dockets are they are reporting to the Deputy National Commissioner.
So you considered it simple common sense that if the task team's going to be dissolved, the dockets would all go back to General Sibiya's office as the Deputy National Commissioner.
Yeah, it can be common, because it's not common for everyone. That time for me, because I knew that the dockets, as a matter of principle, I heard from someone telling me that Deputy National Commissioner is responsible for all the dockets in the country. Therefore, I presumed that they will go back to him.
You see, we've had evidence in this commission relating to whether it was common sense or common practice. And the unanimous evidence is that it wasn't. Can I take you to General Mkhunazi's evidence in the exhibit bundle at 187? Do you have 187?
I have.
There, the evidence leader, Advocate Selo SC, in line 11 asks this question. If a task team in KwaZulu-Natal is disbanded, and I'll assume for purposes of this question that it is correctly disbanded, what automatically happens to those dockets that the task team handled? And General Mkhwanazi responds, the case dockets, commissioners, belong to a police station. The cases opened at a police station get registered. It's going to have a case number of a particular police station. The docket might be investigated by a specialized unit, a task team, or whatever that is established, but in conclusion thereof, it goes back to the police station where it was registered. So if there was a decision to stop the work of this task team on dockets that are already finalized, will need to be returned back to the stations, and dockets that are still under investigation will also need to be returned back to the very same stations, so that those dockets will be allocated to different investigators at the station so the work or investigation work can continue. So the provincial commissioner said, well, in the ordinary course of events, you would expect dockets to go back to the police stations. But his wasn't the only evidence, because then we heard the evidence of Major General Motsepe. She's actually in General Sibiya's office. And she is the general in the office of General Sibiya who was ultimately tasked with responsibility for these very dockets. And she made clear in testimony before this commission a few days before you testified that it was not common sense for the dockets to be brought back to General Sibiya's office. And I can just read what she said at page 10 of the transcript of her evidence. She says, what I'm trying to say from the onset, there were no proper explanation to me why the dockets were taken here. So the very person in General Sibiya's office who was given responsibility for the office said she had no explanation as to why they would come to her office. So the generals in SAPS wouldn't have predicted that the dockets would go to General Sibiya, but you managed to predict that several months before it happened. How was that?
It happened. Just like that.
Just like that. Another one of these marvelous coincidences.
No. Now check the same provincial commissioner who knows that the dockets must go to the police stations, who had the authority to disperse them to the police stations. Why didn't he do that?
That's a question that we can put to General Mkhwanazi if we choose to. But I am asking you, how did you know that the dockets would be brought back up to General Sibiya when all of the generals in the police force that we've spoken to about this question thought that that wasn't standard practice?
Brown Mogotsi knew. Unless there was a directive from either the person who suspected to have given me the letter. Like now, I speak to Chief of Staff. Here's the Chief of Staff.
I'm not interested in the letter anymore. I'm interested in the knowledge that the dockets were going to go to the office of General Sibiya.
Then the commission, probably the commission should establish who said the dockets must go. Because during some sessions here, chairperson of the commission did ask the same general that there was something like General Mkhwanazi said they must come to Gauteng for audit or to be checked. And the chairperson did not necessarily take that it was a futile. Why wouldn't they be audited in the province? Now, I'm scared to get into that terrain that General Mkhwanazi, it is him who brought the docket to Gauteng. And I'm
not asking how the dockets got to General Sibiya's office. I'm asking how you knew on the 2nd of January, that the dockets would be taken to General Sibiya's office.
I would say, commissioners, common sense that I had then is still not common to everyone. Because unless if there was or there is something that probably I'm getting linked, there is a directive maybe from the minister or the chief of staff or the General Sibia himself said, bring those dockets, then you would say, he told me. So I'm saying it was my thinking because the Deputy National Commissioner, all the dockets in the country reports to the Deputy National Commissioner. And I can...
Yeah. Mr. Mbuyiseli, someone told you about this letter. You say it was on social media. Why don't you just admit that somebody told you the dockets are going to General Sibia? I mean, it's not what's being put to you is the generals at the SAPS who have testified here have said it did not make sense for the dockets to come to Pretoria. That's their evidence, all of them. You are the only one so far before the commission who knew that these dockets are going to go to General Sibia. And you say it's common sense for you, an informer who's not an employee of the SAPS other than a contact agent. You say common sense they would go to Sibia. It's very difficult to, sitting here, it's very difficult to believe your answer. That is the best answer you are able to give.
I can make reference again, Commissioner. I remembered something. Yesterday, when I was speaking about Major General Loshaba's case, docket 38, now I remember again, this was the second time. That docket could not be found. And that my handler, I remember again, he had to talk to his commander that they should go to the office of the Deputy National Commissioner and give so that the DNC, Deputy National Commissioner, could give instruction that he wanted the docket. So from the, and I should apologize to use the word common sense because I relied on the first incident after the VIP protection from the Deputy President when they were arrested. I thought that matter is investigated in SAPS, and I heard no, it's done by the presidency. Now but they are surprised why it is done by the presidency because all the dockets belong to the DNC that time. And the second incident is when with the docket 38, it could not be found, I think, today. So I knew
so
also.
You were, okay.
Thank you.
So because of the Lushaba docket, what you came to know, you knew from that the dockets, the PKTT dockets will go to General Sibia. I'm trying to understand your answer.
No, I'm trying to say because even the handler and his commander, he had to find a way to get General Sibia to give instruction that the docket should come to him. So I also learned there that the DNC is responsible for all the dockets in the country.
So are you saying
the little knowledge I have.
So you're saying you knew from experience. It's no longer common sense now. You say you knew from your experience in the Lushaba matter that the dockets, the PKTT dockets will come to General Sibia. Is that what you're saying now?
Not the PKTT. If the DNC is responsible for all the dockets, irrespective that whether it's PKTT or it's crime or stock theft, I just thought the common sense came on the basis of that experience that, because the DNC is responsible for the dockets, therefore. Okay. Hence, I request the commission should establish who said this docket must go to DNC.
No, the question really that Mr. Chaskalson is asking you is how did you know, not a general inquiry. Thank you.
The next stage in this process is when you actually send the letter itself to Mr. Matlala, and you do that on the 2nd of January at 10 in the morning, 10:05. It's at the foot of the page of 63. Now, 10:05 is 11 hours before we can find any public trace of this letter. But we've been through that already. What I want to ask you now is, why is it that you sent the message to Mr. Madlanga informing him of the disbandment of the task team on the night of the 1st of January, but then chose to send the letter on the morning of the 2nd of January at 10 o'clock? Did you have the letter in your hands when you sent that message?
Yes, I did.
On the night. You had the letter already on the 1st of January at 10:38.
That's correct. But I was also trying to establish whether is the letter authentic or not. I kept it, and when I saw the letter now on full swing in media platforms, that's when I sent him the following day.
Well, I'm not going to go back to you in relation to full swing, because, in fact, it was nowhere to be seen until 9 o'clock on that evening. But why did you think it was okay to tell Mr. Madlanga that the task team had been dissolved, but not to give him the letter?
As I said, what if the letter was fake?
Well, then he would be very, very disappointed that you told him that this task team that harassed him had been dissolved, and it turned out that it hadn't been dissolved.
I had to verify if the letter was authentic also.
But on your version, you broke the news to him.
That's correct.
Before you did any verification.
That's correct.
Why did you think it was all right to break the news but not to send the letter?
No, that letter was not my letter. I could even take it to Zambia or anyway. All I need is that Ket Madlanga's PKTT went to harass him. It will be great news for him. I just said, let me check if this is not fake. Then in the morning, I saw it somewhere. Then I gave him a proof.
But in the evening before, on your version, you knew that it was for real. You broke the news to him. You said it's been disbanded, it's been dissolved.
Yeah, that's correct. Well, it wouldn't be a good move to send it if I have not authenticated it.
But it was all right to tell the news, which is the crucial news you wanted to hear, even though you hadn't authenticated.
Very much. It was so much relevant just to inform him and to bolster that I'm having information beforehand. Like now, if just like SC has said, this is a man who's a professional liar. Like now, it is presumed. I can feel it. I got the letter from either someone or the minister gave me the letter. That is what possibly in people's mind. Whereas if I had the letter from the minister or from the chief of staff, maybe, and we never exchanged those things, he would say, don't share that letter. I wouldn't have shared it, but I got it from the social media. I did not even have a chance, because I don't talk with the minister these things, to say, hey, did you issue this letter? No.
Well, Mr. Mogotsi, I'm going to move on from this topic, but before I do that, I just do need to put to you that your evidence that you had the letter in your possession from a public source, and I emphasize public, on the evening of the 1st of January is not plausible. It was not available from public sources on the evening of the 1st of January.
I got it from there. I got it from there, and that's it. There's no way I found it except the social media. I'm saying even the owners of that letter, none of them says you got an email. From General Mkonazi and Masemola, they all say they saw it from the social media. All of them. No one owns up that I received the letter.
Yes, there are, I think, 5 named addressees of the letter on the email. Can I move to the last topic of the day, which hopefully won't take too long? And I want to address your 2 crime intelligence operations. You say that there were 2 operations, one to investigate Kat Matlala, who you suspected of corruption in securing the SAPS contract, and the second one was to infiltrate crime intelligence to expose corruption there.
That's correct.
And you were handled by the late Warrant Officer Mabazela and your second handler, whose name you've given to the Commission. And you were briefed by General Sabia on both of these investigations at a certain point.
I briefed him.
You briefed him. And if I understood your evidence correctly, the understanding was that your handlers would keep General Sabia appraised of what was going on with your investigations.
To keep General Sabia.
Yes, to keep filling him in. General Sabia would need to know what you were doing.
Correct.
Yes. Now, these were 2 separate operations, were they not?
That's correct.
And it would be important, given the nature of the different targets, to keep those operations separate.
No, not necessarily. You cannot keep them separate.
Well, let me put this to you. Kat Matlala was a suspected criminal. Is that not right? You suspected him of criminally securing the SAPS contract through corrupt means.
That's correct.
So it would be important to keep crime intelligence investigation material away from Mr. Matlala so that the suspected criminal wasn't given access to classified information from crime intelligence.
Mr. Matlala is not these amateur criminals. He belongs to this league of, like you say, he's close to generals. So me giving or not giving him information, he'll still have access to information.
Yes, but you wouldn't want to give him crime intelligence classified information.
That's correct. Except for if, like he has powerful media control. Unless if I want to publish something, I can give to him.
So if you want to leak something out into the press, you can get it that way through Mr. Matlala.
I could, not only him, but he's one of the people I could use.
Let me put something. 10 of your statement, paragraph 39. You say there that you got Mr. Matlala to pay for your handler to travel to Cape Town for the January 8 celebrations.
That's correct. That's correct.
He was one of the passengers who Mr. Matlala paid for.
That's correct.
Why? Wasn't there a risk that you would expose your handler's details to Mr. Matlala, who was the criminal you were investigating? I mean, you had to give him a copy of your handler's ID book to book the air ticket.
That was not in the mind. What was in the mind was to make sure that the co-handler and the partner are both in Cape Town.
Well, you did have to give details, including an ID number of your co-handler and an ID book to get the air tickets booked and paid for by Mr. Matlala.
That's correct.
So Mr. Matlala ended up with details of the identity of your handler, even if he didn't know that it was your handler.
That's correct.
You say it was important for your co-handler to come down to Cape Town.
True.
Why?
There was an operation to take place in Cape Town. Again, there were so many people involved. And lastly, if Cat could ever come to Cape Town, because the plan was to inform him in the last minute, if ever it could come to Cape Town, a co-handler should also be there.
You said earlier that it was clear that Madlanga was never going to meet the minister, who wasn't even in Cape Town, or Sibiya, who you were going to offer him as a consolation prize. It was clear that that wasn't going to happen.
Yes.
So why did you need your handler there?
No, instruction of the handler, I can't say I don't need the handler. If they say you are going to Cape Town, no problem, but make sure you are with whoever and whoever. That's what must happen.
So did General Sibiya know that your handler was in Cape Town? Did he authorize getting Cat Madlanga to pay for your handler's flight down to Cape Town, giving your handler's ID to Cat Madlanga?
General Sibiya didn't know that the handler was in Cape Town. He didn't even have to know. An operation carried out in that form, we could not even inform him.
But General Sibiya himself was in Cape Town.
He was in Cape Town.
You told Mr. Madlanga that. I think the relevant message is at page 85 of the annexure bundle. There on the 8th of January at 17:53, you texted Mr. Madlanga and you said, I'm in Cape Town, Sibiya's in Camps Bay.
That's correct.
Was General Sibiya in Camps Bay?
I knew he was going to stay in Camps Bay. He was not yet there. He was on duty.
Where did you stay in Cape Town?
I stayed in Sea Point. Then I moved to the second day, I moved to another hotel.
Did you have a plan to stay in Camps Bay yourself?
No, I did not have a place to stay in Camps Bay.
Can you go to page 79 of the bundle? Sixth of January, 10:55.
And that was 79.
79, indeed. There you text Mr. Madlanga, morning, is it still fine that we meet tomorrow? I'm off to Cape Town on Wednesday for January 8th. Also confirming the house in Camps Bay.
That's correct.
What were you referring to?
To his house in Camps Bay.
Whose house in Camps Bay?
Cat Madlanga's house.
He has a house in Camps Bay.
He said he has a house in Camps Bay.
And why did you need to confirm that?
Now that's another thing. It's work. We know his house in Durban, both here and Gauteng. It was important to know, as we get closer to a person, I had to know his house in Camps Bay. And now that he didn't come, we never bothered. He also had to meet someone from, I kept, if you check on my messages, how I ask him about Camps Bay, it's almost the same way when I ask him about the iPad guy. I kept on reminding him, Camps Bay. Because he said he was going to show us, there was going to be someone who's going to do all those things in Camps Bay.
Can I take you then to page 92?
How long will that be?
2-3 minutes, and then I'm off this topic. January 2025. You text Mr. Madlanga again. You're now down in Cape Town. My brother, thanks for everything. 2 people outstanding. Number 2, the contact person and the location of the accommodation in Camps Bay.
That's correct.
What are you asking for there?
The same house. He said he has a house, he has this and that, and we wanted to see that house. It's part of investigation.
And why would Mr. Madlanga think that it was all right to give you the contact person and the location of the accommodation in Camps Bay? What did he think you were asking for?
Commissioners, maybe this should also be emphasized. If we saw the house and then we could even get people to sleep, I could sleep there. What was important is to know the house, to know yes, the asset.
No, I understand. You say you wanted to identify the address and where it was.
Yes.
But what did Mr. Madlanga think you were asking about?
The accommodation in Camps Bay, the house.
You wanted the accommodation for yourself, you said.
No, it says a holiday house, commissioners. It could host up to 8 to 10 people. But I could not say, I want to see your house. If the house is available for accommodation, you will say, I need to see that house. I want accommodation in that house.
So you were sending this text as though you were asking Mr. Madlanga to use the accommodation in Camps Bay for yourself and guests, or what?
Entertainment. I could ask him the same, but he said he has a house there. And if you check the chats, he never responded when it comes to the house.
And did you ever establish the address of this house in Camps Bay?
Establish what, Commissioner?
The address of this house in Camps Bay that Mr. Madlanga had?
No. We were expecting to get a location for that house.
And it never came?
Never came.
And did you ever establish the address of the house that the General Sibia stayed in Camps Bay?
No, I did not, because the General Sibia I think he was, they booked somewhere in Camps Bay.
He booked somewhere in Camps Bay?
I believe so, because even there were a lot of premiers, a lot of people book in Camps Bay.
Yeah, indeed, they do.
Yeah.
They don't usually speak to Kat Madlanga about their bookings, though. Commissioners, I have no further questions on this topic. I do want to go further in relation to the broader issue of crime intelligence, but that can come another time.
Thank you, Mr. Chaskalson. We will adjourn at this stage, and the resumption of Mr. Mogotsi's testimony will be on a date to be arranged between the Chief Evidence Leader and Mr. Mogotsi's legal representatives. We will resume at 9:30 on Tuesday. Tuesday, the what? Tuesday next week. Let's adjourn.
Councillor Chair, I thought I'm coming back again on Tuesday.
I'm sorry, Mr. Mogotsi.
Oh.
Mr. Mogotsi thought that he was expected back on Tuesday, but it's been clarified that he's...
Oh, your legal representatives will clarify to you, Mr. Mogotsi.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You